Clayton Greer. I do want to, Mr. Brian Seeley has stepped up to the plate, acting as a community representative. He's sitting in the chair out there, just so that everybody knows who he is, I guess. Brian?
Wave your hand, Brian.
Yeah, Brian. Basis of our meeting is to talk about the impact fees. And if anybody doesn't really understand what that is, it's the fees that is paid by new installations of sewer and water to buildings and properties, and that fees are used to aid in infrastructure, growth of sewer, water, anything that's needed. Having discussed that in looking at some of the documents, there has not been a raise or increase of these rates or whatever since 2024. Is that correct, Ruth?
Correct.
So it's like, time to address things. Typically, most everything bumps up at a 2% increase typically. This stuff, the water and sewers, have only risen 1% over the over the last 4 or 5 years. So it's kind of, it's just one of those, it's a fee that a lot of people don't want to pay, but it costs a lot of money to add one water line to, connect zone 1 to zone 2 to make a loop system in the water. And there we've got, I think, 2 or 3, is that correct, Mike? 2 or 3 places where we need to really have dead ends, and we need to address it somehow.
Yeah, I think there's about 3 or 4.
And in your paperwork there, you will see Drew has set up, kind of a criteria of where the other towns and communities, Missoula, Bozeman, Kalispell, and a lot of those are growing substantially, so they probably have a lot more funds than we do, perhaps. We do get residential, a few houses once in a while, but like right now, I know only one in town being built. So, having that said, I guess I'll open it up for comments from anybody.
Would this be for like an individual service? Like you're coming into a block and everybody else, all the other houses around you have water, and you're just adding a new service in your empty block or empty lot.
Well, if you're in reference to like that new house on 14th Street, is that a reference? That's a new home, but it already has water and sewer to the property. This isn't a fee to help pay for any of that. That's additional to the homeowners.
Okay.
This is just a flat out fee that they would pay to be able to have water and sewer.
To connect their home to the system.
Yeah.
It's a new
connect.
It's a new connection.
Yeah.
Yes.
An impact fee.
So you bought a piece of property and you're gonna develop it
Or build a house.
or build a house on it, and it don't have no water or sewer even next to it, and you need to connect into the city sewer and the city water. Because there's properties out there that's never been connected
Right.
to the city services.
And everybody pays it, but it is not this, if they pay this fee, it does not say, I'll give you this much money and I get free water and free sewer. That's
No.
not,
No.
they're responsible for the contractor to hook up the water and the sewer lines.
I was just thinking, are we talking about new developments where we're bringing in a whole block into the city at a time, or just one individual service?
That would, a subdivision would be totally different than what this would be.
Okay.
I guess I would assume.
It would.
Yeah.
It would if. No, it applies the same, because subdivision, they put in 10 new lots. Let's say
Right.
each lot would be responsible
Correct.
for an impact fee. So it would be the same process. The way it was explained to me a long time ago is an impact fee can be viewed as catching you up to where everybody else has already been. A house that was built in the 40s has been using city water and sewer for 80 plus years. They have chipped in over the years to help pay for water, help pay for sewer improvements throughout all the years. The idea behind the impact fee is in the new building, hasn't contributed to any of the water and sewer over the past several years, and they're gonna put a burden on it, and the idea is this gives you equal footing and catches you up for some house that's been here for many, many years, chipping away, paying for sewer improvements. Old bonds had been paid off, they were part of paying that off. That's the way it was explained to me.
So,
That's the way it was explained to me years ago too.
so what happens when if you buy a lot and say it has 2 services on it? I'm gonna put my house on these 2 lots. There's 2
Right.
existing services that were already tapped and haven't been paid for in 10 years. They've been inactive
Well,
services
the
for 10 years.
taps are there.
But the
That-
taps are there,
Yeah.
so it's no impact fee.
Well, is there 2 lots or 1 lot?
Well, I think say you bought 2 lots and combined them into one, and
Well,
now, but
then
you
you
have
would-
2 water services, 2 taps, and 2 sewers are already
Well, yeah,
there.
You probably only need 1 sewer, but if you did combine the 2 taps, it'd be just 1 customer. So I would address that as 1 customer, yeah.
But are you going to pay an impact fee because it's already
Yes.
tapped and connected?
Yes, oh yeah, you would pay the impact fee,
It's connecting the home to
Yeah.
the line.
yeah.
So if you could have,
Even though there's a water service and a sewer service for that 1 lot,
Property.
in, reference, you were questioning 2 taps, well, they'd still be, I would deem that to be 1, because you would have to, if you're gonna, like, say you buy 2 lots and you build a house in the middle of 2 lots,
Right.
then you have to go and reassess that as 1 lot. That's the way the taxes would be set up.
Okay.
So then there would be only one,
But,
impact fee.
but when those were installed, weren't they assessed a fee then when they were
No.
installed, even though they're
I
inactive now?
doubt it.
Okay.
This, a lot of this stuff is really, Drew, probably has only taken place over the last few years. I don't know
Okay.
when they started an impact fee.
Cause I know when it used to be, if there was a house on there and it got destroyed, and somebody come back and they bought it, and it said, like, the lot said empty for 3 or 4 years, and then they decided to build on it, there wasn't an impact fee assigned to them because
It
there was
already had.
already a pre-existing home on it.
And it already had the
the
service there. That's what I was kind of questioning is, if someone's developing a lot that already has a water connection on it and sewer connection on it, are they going to be exempt from this, or are they still going to pay for this?
No, I would say that they would still have to pay that impact fee, because it's new now. to me.
Okay, I think that should be made clear in the writing of it, so that
We
way,
can, yeah.
because if
good
I was
point.
buying property and it already had water connected to it, I would assume,
Well, if it's an existing house, you mean?
well,
That's different
but if
than
it's a
that.
lot that already has existing water and sewer service on it, like Steve said, the house is burned down and it's gone, but
Yeah.
you still connected into the city and it's out there, and so you're not gonna reconnect into the city lines because it's already been connected to
Yeah.
the city lines.
Right.
So shouldn't have a connect fee,
I
really.
in that
In
case, I
one
could
sense.
see his question, if there was a house that was connected
It
there,
depends on-
it burned down, they hauled
Yeah.
it away, demolished it,
Yeah.
and then they got a new connection with if they built a new home, would they be charged to route it back
I
in?
don't think they should be charged for that.
Because that changes the value of that empty lot. You know, see what I'm
gotcha.
saying? You know,
Yeah.
if you're going to be charged that connect fee, whether it was already connected or not, versus, that's an asset to the property,
House
whereas
was there
now.
for 40 years and then burned down, yeah,
Yeah.
I could maybe see that. but
Yeah.
They
I
have
guess-
to be,
What would your stance be on that, Jordan?
I'm looking it up.
Well, because I can understand what you're saying. Is there sewer and water available? That obviously changes the value of the home, but you still have to run the line from, let's say, the street to your property.
no,
I don't
no,
think
no,
to
I'm
the
talking
city.
about on the property
Well, you
itself.
just dig a hole
From your
and you
curb
find the
stop,
old water line.
Not your tap,
Yeah.
Right.
not your corporation, but from your tap, from your curb stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
to the
there should
house,
be a
you
curb
might have to
stop.
Put a new line in,
Yeah.
but not going out into the street, not touching the main, not doing none of that.
See what
Staying
I'm
on
saying?
your own
Because it already
property.
is connected in. It should be,
That would still
if
be.
it's in there. It should still be in the
similar to-
city line.
Because like a lot of them.
You
they'll
shouldn't
just
really
go
be
from the curb.
reconnecting to the line.
Well, that's a good.
That's where
I
I'm
mean,
like,
that is a
it
nitty
makes
gritty
a
question, really.
big
Yeah.
difference on that value of an empty lot. If it has water and sewers that is
Correct.
available, that you already paid a tap fee, that you shouldn't have to pay that tap fee and then
Well, then that
avoid
would be
this.
covering all of the lots that have water and sewer already in.
Right.
So that would be not correct though.
Why?
Difference.
Because don't we have some empty lots where
Well, there's lots
that
all
we
over
tie
around
in
town that
and
have
just
water
run
and
it
sewer
at least
already in.
onto the property, Michael? How?
We do, past practice has been, and current practice is what George is saying. We
Yeah.
assess it if there's been a property on there in the past, we don't charge them
The
an
house.
impact fee.
Yeah.
The house.
Yeah.
So anywhere new, so if you go over to Matovich's, his house burnt down next to the
Yeah.
gas pumps, there would not be an impact. fee.
Right,
If you go out to 14th Street and build a new house,
Right.
there is
There'd be an impact.
right.
And the lines are already run, they were run in the past for this instance, so they don't have to dig up the road.
Dig up the road.
But they
Yeah.
still have to pay the investment fee because there was never a house.
The only other criteria
Yeah,
to that one though
okay.
is in reference to that house that he speaks of, it possibly could have lead lines. So there would probably have to be somebody responsible to check to see if it had lead lines
And update
and
it.
update them at the
Then you'd be back
expense of
to-
the homeowner.
Then you'd be back to reconnecting
But there
to city
probably
line.
would not be an impact fee
No.
Right.
per se, but that's just, they
You
would
would
just
still have to
check.
remove the lead.
Yeah.
See, that's where I'm like, where is
Yeah.
this affecting
See,
and where is
that's-
it not?
that's- That's the way it was always explained to me, that if there was a pre-existing home on there,
They would sell.
that, they've already paid them impact fees.
That's my
And
understanding.
they're-
And
and that tap and all that. But when you come to like a new development area, that's, even though it's got the sewer and water stubbed into the property, that's to keep you from tearing up the road.
hmm
Because you got a nice new road out there, who wants to go through there and dig it all up, and now you got a dip, cause you'll never get it compacted the same again.
Right.
So, you're gonna end up with a big dip in the new road, and sidewalk's gonna have a big settling mark in it. Just, that's why they say, now you gotta put it out.
Okay.
Okay.
I do have a partial answer. Impact fees may not be imposed for remodeling, rehabilitation, or other improvements to an existing structure, or for rebuilding a damaged structure, unless there is an increase in units that increase service demand. There you go.
Like
So you
increasing
have to
the
have
line
bigger
size.
Well, I'll say like
Tap.
you're bought a lot and you need to put a 4-inch service into it.
Yeah.
Then there would be.
Then there'd be an impact,
Because
or
you're reconnecting.
you're
Yeah.
going from a 1-inch to 2-inch. And
Yeah.
there would be an impact fee. I could see that.
You can charge impact fees on remodeling, rehabilitation, if you go to a bigger line.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I
But
can see that.
there's no timeline here in the statute of how long ago was that building damaged.
Yeah,
So
I-
it could be an old
I
property.
still think I'm correct that if it's empty and it had an existing service,
Yeah.
they're exempt
They've
from all
already
that.
paid
Correct,
it.
that's what they just said.
Yeah, that's what,
Even if the building had been demolished a couple
Yeah.
years ago.
or 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
Because that, it's just a big differentiation on people buying a property that's empty, but the seller saying it's got water and sewer connects on it. That makes a difference. you
Well,
know?
connects though, and it being an empty lot with no existing building, X or otherwise.
Yes.
And that's, then there would be a fee though.
Okay.
Yeah, it
You know,
could
It's
have
never
it.
been turned on ever
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, like say there's a lot of houses on Hyman, there's vacant lots that the city owns.
Mhm.
They have water and sewer, then, I mean, that's
It's
different
stubbed
because
out.
the city had it stubbed to the property, but
But
there has
never-
never been a house built there.
right.
Then that impact fee would probably,
Still
that one
apply.
I couldn't say that for sure, that one wouldn't be waived because that was under a different program with the city. I'm not sure if Drew has answered that one or not.
What was that, Clayton? I'm sorry.
Well, like that housing project that the city was part of when they sold lots economically
Over on
to the
Hyman.
people off like Hyman and up. Yeah, I'm not sure if this impact fee would be related to those or not.
I'd have to look into it and research it, I don't know. off the
And that's
top of my
just,
head.
I mean, if anybody ever showed interest in those lots, we would address it. And I'm assuming that under the guides of what it was back when, that it would probably be exempt from an impact fee.
I don't know, because
Oh.
there was never, that was an empty field.
Yeah.
No, I
It
know
would
that.
be just like a
A new service.
new service.
If it's never been installed,
Well, that's possible. But
Yeah.
it was under the city, under a grant program, and
Right.
I don't know the logistics of all of it. I wasn't real familiar with it.
But other than that, it's just, this is basically
So
new,
I guess
new taps.
the point is
talking
the
about the fee.
direction of where to go, just with another additional 1% increase. Drew, do you feel that we have to bump it more than that, or?
I think it would be nice to bump it up more than 1 or 2% the first year and then maybe keep it uniform after that.
Okay, because we have not added to it
In
since
5 years.
2024, so,
It's been at least 5 years.
no, 2024,
2024?
yeah.
Steve, you might be thinking the last time they met for the, to
Yeah,
establish
we haven't
that
added.
5-year period,
Yeah.
maybe.
That's possible, but their last raise was in 2024 of the 1%.
How about we do 2% and then we go back to 1%?
That would be something we need to think about.
What
Brian,
do
any
you think,
input?
Drew?
Seems fair.
I mean, it hasn't been touched
2 year
for
difference.
2 years or so.
Just to catch it
That'd
up?
really be the same thing anyway, if you do 2% now. It's just that there was a release in the increase from 2024 to 2026,
Mhm.
if you understand what I mean.
Yep.
And the sizes of the water lines are calculated to their exemptions.
Yeah.
I guess is that the consensus? George, you got any questions?
I'm good with adding it, or increasing it.
How about you, Brian? You got anything? You gotta speak up, bro.
No, that sounds fair. It's been 2 years since the increase, so
Yeah.
2% and then back to 1.
I think it would
And and I'm not real sure, I mean, I don't know that, in one sense, that sometimes it's like we charge a lot for the larger lines. I don't know if we should put a little minimum on the larger lines or not, because we're trying to do economic growth in town too, so I don't know if that would slow them down. What do you think, Drew? Say, starting with, water line size 2 to 4, leaving those alone and just increasing the smaller ones because they're more common and lesser amount. Just to pay $16,000 just for the right to hook up to 4-inch line.
be. Yeah, but we're only doing 1% increments.
No, I understand. But I'm saying not.
And that's
put it-
barely gonna cover.
Yeah.
Even with that, that's barely gonna cover it. Say like, when Love's moved in out there, they paid that.
Yeah, but we didn't, this just goes into a slush fund for use for other impacted areas.
Yeah,
Slush fund.
yeah.
You'll never see a dollar amount where
No.
work can pay for something.
I can't use the word slush fund.
Drew loves that term. slush fund.
Drew don't like that word, slush funds. He said it sounds
He
criminal.
knows what I talk about.
I think you need
We
to
roll the
reserve
dice all the
account.
time.
It sounds criminal, don't it, Drew? Slush fund. Sounds like anybody can get into it.
Yeah.
But then, 2% on 16,000, that's gonna be quite a jump. But- And a lot of them just call it as overhead, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I'm in the presumption that I'd like to spur industry better than not.
Yeah, but then you're hitting the smaller homeowners that
Mhm.
don't have the capital.
What? Maybe?
If one's gonna pay 1%, they all need to pay the 1%.
Okay.
It's just
In this
fair
case.
across the board. If George is gonna put in a house, AJ's gonna put in a business,
Yeah.
he needs a 4-inch, George needs a 1-inch, he gets slack, he has to pay for it.
There you go.
I think they both should pay the 1% increase.
Okay.
It'd just be fair across the board. So don't be putting any businesses in.
So I guess that having been said, we kind of would move towards the 2% increase for the year 2024 as a recommendation. 26, yeah, from 2024 to 2026.
Yeah,
And then go back to the 1%
next year.
automatically every year so that we don't.
There we go.
For the next 4? Or do we,
I
after
would
4,
say so, yeah.
after 4 do we revisit?
Yeah.
Year 1, 2%, and then 1% for the next 3 after that, or
3
4?
years, yeah, the next
Yeah.
3 years.
And then on the 5th year, we'd review it again.
Review it
Yeah.
again, yeah.
So
Because
just set
right
it
now,
for,
We'll
That
just
would
go
be-
through and we'll hit them with the 2%. Then next year we'll hit them with a 1%.
And then review.
is that typically what's been done, is a 4-year kind of an agreement?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds good to me.
I think the code says, you can ask Jordan, but I think it says you can set it up to 5 years out. But I guess that would count 26.
Yeah, that's how I would interpret that as well. You have to meet every 5 years, so I would set a 5
Let's
years.
do it 5 years, yeah, let's do it then 5
So
years.
do 2, and then 1, 1, 1, 1.
1 for 5 years. Would that rate increase have to be only for 4 years though, because we're doing 2026? Understand my question?
No, I don't.
Would 2026 be the first raise?
You tell me how you wanna do it. I mean, you
Yeah,
tell
I
me the
would,
dollar
I would
amount.
suggest we do the 2% right now in 26. And then 27 we'll go back to the 1.
One, yeah.
For the
For
following
5 years,
4.
For 5 years.
Yeah,
For the following
next-
4.
For
Yeah,
4
for
years
4
then.
years.
So
4
2,
years.
and then you have 4 years
Yep.
of 1.
Right.
So 26, let's say it's August or September,
Yeah.
whenever it takes effect. Then the following September, it would be 1, yeah.
Yep.
And I guess
one,
let's,
one.
yeah, and then we
We have
could
5
do-
years planned,
Yeah.
including the 2%.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. Is that, you guys all
You feel
agree on that?
comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Can I just, for the minutes, can we have a motion?
Well, we're not, this is just a committee.
Committee.
meeting.
Committees still make votes for
Okay.
recommendations.
Okay, I'll make the motion, we do the 2% and then
For 2026.
for 2026 and then the 3 after that.
4.
No, 4 after that.
Correct,
I got 3 in my
1%.
head.
Add 1%, yeah.
All in
I'll do a
favor?
second.
Need a
You
second?
gotta vote.
Do we have a
Yeah.
second on
I'll
that?
second it.
Okay. So it's been moved and seconded to go ahead and start the rate increase at 2% for the impact fees, and then for the next consecutive 4 years, go to 1%.
Yeah.
And then in that, after that 5th year, we'd reevaluate.
And
That's
then
motion and second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Approved.
Okay, moves
you.
on.
Having that, and I guess I would move to adjourn the meeting of the Impact Fee Advisory Committee.
Yep, and then we'll pick
I'll
up here in
second it.
about 5 minutes.
At 6:24.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you.
About 40 seconds ahead. All right, everybody, thanks for coming. Call this meeting to order. Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's grab your pen. Okay, roll call. Mayor is here. Stephen Hopes.
Yep.
George Toyne.
Here.
Clayton Greer.
Here.
Jeremy Krebs.
Here.
Chris Sharp.
Here.
AJ Espinoza.
Here.
Okay, we'll move into council meeting minutes of July 7th, 2026.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as read. Or stand, or whatever you want to call it.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve council meeting minutes of July 7th, 2026. Any further discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Claims.
Motion to approve claims 34028 to 34082. Total dollar amount $313,764.28.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve claims number 34028 to 34082 in the amount of $313,764.28. Any further discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, claims are approved. Public comment for agenda items tonight? Okay. Seeing none. For mayor's report tonight, I just want to announce that Nate McConnell, who's been studying for the State of Montana Building Inspector exam, has passed it. So now he's a licensed building inspector officially. Now that happened, we've been in conversation with Joe Connolly, our previous building inspector, and we've mutually decided that Joe's not needed part-time any longer. So he stepped down completely just about a week ago, or just over a week ago, and Nate's taken over that role officially. I wanted to congratulate him for passing that and getting it all done, and then thank Joe for helping him for the last several months. So,
Good news.
and then Officer Sedaris just graduated today, correct?
Correct.
From Law Enforcement Academy, so he'll be heading back and be starting on our streets and going through the rest of his training. So we're excited to have him back. That's all I have for that. Move into committee reports. Personnel, city policy manual. If anybody on council has reviewed some of that manual, if you have any changes, we might start looking at that here in another month or so. Maybe make a few updates. So if you guys have anything to add to that, just let me know. Sewer and water, Steve, and streets and alleys.
Sewer and water, the water plant's been running okay from what I've been told, so we don't have any worries there. But we did have a water leak today that the city crew had to go emergency take care of, so from my understanding it is taken care of, Mo. Alright. Streets and alleys, they finished up on what they could with the blacktop and that. We're patching, and then our AJ's crew went over there from the county, got that stuff taken care of on the railroad tracks for us. Mike will give you a little bit more information on that. The sewer treatment plant, we have two guests in the audience, we'll be speaking upon that. I ain't gonna bubble over top of it, so. And they've been doing a lot of mowing, trying to get things mowed down and that. And that's all I got to report on.
Okay. Thanks, Steve. Law enforcement, George?
We continue to get applications in for officers, and we're interviewing and continuing on.
Okay, thank you. Parks and playgrounds, Jeremy?
The splash pad is up and running, obviously, and there's people over there all the time. I did want to say something or make a few comments, and I had some questions for Michael about the parks. I think I've been expressing my concern to Riley and Michael over the past at least month and a half about how the parks look. I think that they look like crap. They're brown, they're burning up. I've expressed it to you multiple times, sending you pictures, I've expressed it to you. What's going on with them? What were the dates that the sprinklers were turned on in the park? Because last time I heard that they had been turned on 2 weeks before that, and then it was 2 days before that.
I don't have that information on me.
Michael, remind them to raise the deck, because they're cutting it close and that'll burn harder and faster, and I don't care how much water you put on, at least one more notch up.
And that was another one of my comments is, if it's not growing, if it's brown, if it's looking like it does, why are we still mowing it? It's 1 inch tall. There's nothing to mow there. Also over there another question is, we spent $10,000 on a sprinkler system and hydro seed where the cornhole boards are in the South Park project. Have those sprinklers been turned on and utilized? Is the timer installed? Is it automatic?
If it's put into the system, it should have been automatic, but I don't remember a line running all the way down over there, do you?
We
where
approved. Yeah, we approved.
on the south side of the park?
No, it's
No,
got
this
its own, it should have its own,
Well, yeah, we spent
I gave you a
$7,000.
controller.
We spent $7,000 to get a
Oh, so
sprinkler
it's
put in there.
inside that little
Yeah, everybody
building?
here
It
approved.
should be
yeah.
inside the building, yes, correct.
Yeah, and then we also paid however many thousands of dollars to hydro seed it.
Yeah.
It's been hydro seeded over there. It's not been mowed.
Yeah.
There's places that are a foot tall.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have the parks been sprayed and fertilized?
I don't believe they've been sprayed for fertilized yet.
But actually, so just because how they look, I did call up True Green to get a price, and I'd like to present that at the next meeting to try to get something to start growing again. Some of the weeds to be knocked down because there's weeds all over. Nothing's growing. Part of that's probably because there's not been any water on it. Is there any zones that are frozen broke?
I don't have that information on me at this time.
Because I have one over there to Wilson Park, the park that I think we approved a group in town to go over there and have movies in the park. I don't even think that they've been over there because it is so burnt. And I went over there and I stuck my finger down and it's pretty much like a dirt path. You can't even push your finger into the dirt. It's so hard. Did that just get turned on last Friday for the first time? Is there a reason why it wasn't turned on yet? Aren't they all automatic? Like
No.
shouldn't we just? They're not automatic. They're not.
Well, they're on automatic, but you manually have to turn them on to begin with at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So you could have went over there and set it, say June 1st.
Yeah.
Set the timer and it could have came on every day or every other day or every third day. You just turn up the time, right?
Yeah, and then
So is it very difficult to
as
do
it
that,
gets
or?
warmer, then you increase it.
Yeah.
You just increase the days, and then as it gets even more warm, then you increase the timeline.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just
Yeah, I
asking a
know.
question. So, but not this last week, but the weekend before was 112 degrees out. Then last Friday, that's when we started turning on. What I could tell is Wilson Park. Yeah. I don't know why. Is there a reason why they weren't turned on yet until last week?
I do not have that information on me at this time.
So whose decision was it to wait until last week to do that? Was it just because everybody was too busy, or why did it not get turned on? Was there breaks, or?
I'm not sure. I didn't verify that it hasn't been turned on. But I can verify that next time I'm in the
Well, they have been going. I drive past them all the time, and they were turned on. I've seen them on every day pretty much since Friday. And we do have somebody that's in charge of the parks, right? That turns them on all the time, or that is in charge of them. Probably gets paid a little extra to be in charge of the parks, right?
Yes.
Okay. So in that case, I would think that we should have them on before it gets 112 degrees out. That's just my opinion. I mean, I think I just watered mine a couple times a week, pretty good, but and mine does not look burnt like that. I guess I'm really concerned about that because every time in the past people have came into this town and they've always said how nice our parks look. Oh my God, your parks look so nice. Like, who takes care of them? Like, you guys have the nicest parks. This year, people are like, what is going on with our parks? Like, what's going on? That's why I'm asking these questions, because I'm not the only one that's asked them. I'm not the only one that's noticing. I guess I don't know why we waited until almost the end of the summer to turn them on.
We're gonna have to get it figured out, Jeremy.
Because I've also expressed concern to you, I think,
Yeah.
over a month ago, and I've also sent you pictures. So.
Yeah, we've spoken about it. I've spoken to Michael about it. We've got to get. Yeah, they're dry.
Okay, well, because right now we're to the point that we're going to have to do not just watering, but also fertilizing and spraying and other stuff just to get it back to where it was last year.
I noticed Custer was running. I mean, I think it was
Yeah, I
yesterday evening.
noticed that started running about a week and a half ago, every day, whenever I noticed it. Also, another thing is there's sprinkler heads that aren't moving at all because you can see where the water path is. Everything else is great, is brown around those, except for where we also have to do work on adjusting those.
Or replace it.
Or replacing the head. I believe that we have 3 people in the parks, at least 2. There's a younger kid that is always mowing. It looks like he does a great job. I think an older gentleman also. I just like to get the parks green because that is a very big part of Hardin and what people actually see whenever they come here.
That's
So,
exactly true.
and does anybody else have any comments? I'm sure that every one of the other councilmen have also noticed the same thing that I am noticing.
Like I said, just have them raise that pickup. They'll miss a week's worth of mowing and then they can get in on it. Go ahead.
If I may speak back to
Sure.
that. We are aware that sprinklers, there's a few that need to be replaced. It's probably my fault. I keep pulling the guy off with the CDL to put him on the projects I need with the CDL. He is working on them the best he can. We have lost a guy who was very experienced in the park and had lots of years in the park. And I'm not trying to make an excuse, but I'm just asking you to maybe understand a little bit. We're not professional grass people. We don't have that 20 years experience, but we are going to keep trying every day and keep working to get those back up to a standard that you will accept.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But it is July 21st. So and something that's as easy as turn on a timer and maybe having it go even a little bit before a week ago would have been great. So.
We had somebody break into that box and change the timer on us. So that's not an excuse, but those are the type of things we gotta deal with.
I understand. But
Hey, Mike, you said you pulled a guy off with the CDL, so is there only one guy with the CDL?
I'm sorry.
You said you pull off the guy with the CDL in the other project, so is there only one person with the CDL?
Yeah, the other 2 are summer help. They're temporary. They only do 20 hours a week.
Shouldn't everybody have a CDL though?
Not our temporaries. I don't think we can get them. One is under 18. The other one, it's not a requirement of the seasonal position
Gotcha.
for the park. So
Been kind of a struggle this year. We talked
Yeah.
about at a budget too. I mean, maybe getting extra, you know.
it's amazing what a little bit of water can do though. So. That's all I have.
Okay. Finance landfill. Clayton?
Finance, nothing. Landfill, met with Michael and Barry Damson. We did discuss some items about, the landfill, and maybe we need to hold off on them until we do a committee meeting. I guess, and I could probably ask Angela to put us on, do a committee meeting before the next council.
Okay. And did you want to give a report about the official meeting impact?
Yeah, you're gonna do the impact fee.
Well, that's next, yeah. Okay, moving on to the impact fee advisory. We had a meeting tonight to discuss the investment fees. Discussed a 2% increase to address the gap between 2024 and 2026 with an additional 1% increase per year for the next 4 years.
All right. Thank you. Resolutions and ordinances.
Nothing
Rich?
to say.
Okay. And then economic development, George.
Tina attended 60 Minutes with Main Street online. Big Sky Passenger Rail Authority board meeting was online. Local reimagining rural update downtown. She met with USDA check-in with Beartooth RC&D online, and she had Beartooth RC&D board meeting in Joliet, and she had a guest with her, Mayor Ramsey. She had checked in with meeting with Destination IQ and the progress with our tourism website. Tina's also working on Main Street, Montana Main Street for the second quarter. That's all we have for tonight.
All right. Thank you. Moving into petitions and communications. So there's a Montana Leagues of Cities and Towns 95th Annual Conference. And then the City County Planning Board meeting minutes is also in your packet. You guys get a chance to review that. We'll move in, let's see, we don't have any unfinished business, so we'll move into new business with the Northcon change order number 4 in the amount of $15,829.49. You guys here for that? Come on up.
I told you.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. My name is Dax Sinek with Staley Engineering. Just here to provide a little information on that change order. This one is for a temporary fix. There's an existing 14-inch ductile iron pipe that runs between the existing Headworks building and the oxidation ditch. When we were installing some utilities to the new Headworks building, we had to cross that. It's a very shallow bury, I think about 2 feet. And when we uncovered it, I mean, you could literally stick a shovel through the top of the pipe. Very deteriorated. We can't shut the plant down. You know, that line does need to stay operational until we get the new Headworks building online. So what we're proposing to do is put in SDR 35 PVC pipe, a little bit heavier duty PVC, to maintain that flow from the Headworks existing Headworks to the oxidation ditch. Eventually, a portion of that line will come out. There's another line that tees into it from the RAS pump station. That will be replaced with ductile iron pipe as part of the project. But kind of need this temporary fix, like I said, to keep things on schedule and maintain operation of the plant.
Anybody have any questions?
Is ductile iron the best choice? If it's failed out.
It is. That pipe doesn't usually have full flow in it, and so air gap will allow the deterioration of that. The new pipe will have either like a ceramic or a glass lining, so prevent that corrosion.
I was just gonna say, I usually see them with glass linings.
Yeah.
What's the deciding factor between glass or ceramic?
They're both very similar. It sounds like if you have to, jet that line, ceramic wouldn't hold up as good as glass, but I think for the amount, that you would jet it, I mean, I don't see that as being a big issue. I think durability wise or longevity wise, about the same, and cost wise.
Ceramic is definitely cheaper than glass. Glass is really hard to get the wait time on. It's really long, like months, especially as it gets into the bigger sizes. Where ceramic is much more available.
So you're gonna recommend to go with the ceramic then?
Yeah, I think
because you're
that's
gonna need it quicker.
And
Why don't we use PVC?
we discussed that actually
The temperature?
for just the piece that goes back to the old Headworks.
Right.
At the end of the project, when we do the final piece and tie-in, if we do want to have a connecting line to the old Headworks building,
Right.
we talked about we'd have to use a different style of PVC called C900.
Right.
Because the OD of that is, outside diameter of that is almost the same as the iron pipe that we're connecting to. You couldn't use SDR 35, which is
correct.
yeah. And so that's in the discussion, and I think this temporary fix will give us the opportunity to be able to finish enough to the point where we can work on the permanent fix,
Yeah.
because we have a mating wall that needs to go on the side of the oxidation ditch where the new penetrations will go for the new pipes coming out of the new Headworks.
Right.
We'd like to move this one up back and get into that mating wall, the current one that comes out of it. Because basically, once we disconnect the old Headworks, the only thing going through there will be the return activated sludge line.
Right.
That comes out of the screw pumps. And so, yeah, that's a discussion for when we do the permanent solution. Yeah, maybe do C900 just for the old Headworks if you want to leave that attached, or if you guys don't have intention to ever make a septic receiver out of that, and I mean, just take the T out and put a 90-degree bend in it and go that route. I mean, So I think that's a discussion when we talk about the permanent fix later. I think that'll be the way to go.
Sounds good.
I know Mike had brought up and asked about shutting the plant down completely and aerating our holding ponds and using them as a lagoon system and having the plant completely dead until a project is done. And that was,
We did discuss that.
If we had no holding area.
Well, I mean, I think there's that, and then just the cost to find aerators that you can bring in there, power to run them, I think would be pretty considerable for a temporary solution there.
And then on your discharge end,
And you'd still need to go through
you
prior
still
to
need-
discharge.
You need to meet your discharge permit.
So then we'd have to pump it back into the plant.
okay.
I think it's just it would be horribly cost prohibitive to try to go down.
I guess I would make a motion to accept the Northcom change order number 4.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept Northcon change order number 4, in the amount of $15,829.49. Any further discussion on that? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Thanks you guys for talking about that. We'll move into the auditor bid for fiscal years 25, 26, and 27. Assuming Drew has some things to say on that.
Yes, I'll talk about this one. So we went out to bid prior in March of this year and got no bids back, so I opened the RFP up again and kind of blanket sent out as many emails to audit firms in the state that I could. I did have to extend the deadline. I was hoping to do this at the beginning of July, but because they asked for the extension, we're doing it at this council meeting instead. There's 2 firms that responded, one from Oldus and Associates, which is the shorter 2-page document that you have, and then one from Kinter Accounting Professionals. We actually talked to Oldus and Associates while they were in town completing Bighorn County's audit. The way they go about their audit is much more proficient and kind of old school, I guess you could say. They don't do much online. They kind of come on site and do their audit within 4 or 5 days, get it done. You have a draft report by the time they're done, and you kind of know if any weaknesses or areas you need to shore up or kind of talk about, the PRA or our TIF district that week instead of extending this over months. They also, and as part of their bid, had said that they would like to do our 25 audit in the fall of this year, and then do the 26 audit in the spring before it's due to the federal government for single audit purposes. So the compliance audit that we have to do as part of our main overall audit, which is just auditing federal programs. So like the rural development program that we have that's sponsoring the wastewater plant, like that'll trigger that single audit that we'll have to do. So they kind of worked us into their timeline and schedule. Whereas if you look at the Kinter Accounting, he didn't really give a timeline as far as when those could be done. He did say it would take about 4 to 6 weeks overall, and I don't think he would necessarily actively be working on it every day or on a weekly basis like Oldus and Associates had said. And then the last factor is that his price was much more with the single audits that I expect to have in fiscal year 26 and fiscal year 27 than what Oldus and Associates was. Kinter Accounting was $93,000 in the second year basically, and then $96,000 in the third year. Whereas the Oldus and Associates was $74,000 and then $74,000. And if you add up to what he had for a single audit in the first year, it'd be $76,000 each year total. So his is about $15,000 to $18,000 less every year, Oldus and Associates, than Kinter Accounting. So my recommendation is to go with Oldus and Associates for this 3 years, and then we'll kind of regroup after that 3 years of audits and see where we want to go from there.
With Kurt Weiss, Drew.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't see that their business name
Yeah, it
on it.
doesn't say their name on it, unfortunately, but.
Okay.
Olness and Associates also is highly recommended by the folks that you see on the list here. I know Kelly Strecker from the city of Laurel. I know her personally, and she has a good relationship with Olness and Associates, and they do a good job, she said. And some of the other cities and towns here I see through our listserv as well kind of recommend Olness and Associates. So the fact that they did and they're local in Billings is kind of a plus for us. They can be down here pretty quickly too if we needed them for any other purpose.
How much was our last contract for our last provider?
77,000.
So they're right in the ballpark.
Yeah.
I actually got to meet with Kurt, with Drew. It's been maybe a month ago. And he fired off a few questions and seemed to know pretty quickly what we needed, and it was
Kind of spooky, huh?
well, no, I mean he understood the timing of it, and the fact that you can get that done within about a week. They just focus on it instead of drawing it out. So they're less money overall for the 3 years, and they focus and do it a lot quicker in a shorter time frame.
Yeah.
How do you spell that, Drew? Olness?
Olness.
Oh, it's right on the back. I'm sorry.
Top of the back.
Yeah, you bet. There it is.
I'll make a motion to approve Olness and Associates for audits for 2025, 2026, and 2027.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve for our bid for audit, Olness and Associates for 25, 26, and 2027. Any further discussion on that? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries.
Mayor, can we repeat that again, Steve?
What's that?
Chris
Steve, did you get to
Chris
vote?
first?
and
Yeah.
Steve second.
I just didn't hear Steve vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got
yeah,
it.
he did.
Oh,
and
I'm
then,
sorry.
Okay.
You say aye?
No for the vote.
Aye.
He's second, okay, but I didn't hear an I or an A.
Yeah.
You said
oh,
aye.
sorry.
That's
We
okay, I
good
just wanted to
there?
clarify.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll move into staff reports. Public Works, Michael?
I have nothing.
Okay.
Question for you, Mike. How's the pipe, what's holding up on the pipe down there on Sawyer's Loop?
I don't know if there's anything holding it up right now. It's just a slow process. We've got about 5 communication lines running right on top of that culvert. We got a hand dig around.
Was that an abandoned line that you guys did?
We couldn't get a response out of CenturyLink to come out and take a look at that. So we're treating it as if it's a live line. We'll wrap it up with some plastic if they don't show up and mark it. And it'll be off the road so they won't have to dig any blacktop out. But I believe they got the culvert in this afternoon and talking about refilling that in, getting that road opened back up by tomorrow. There will be no blacktop, it'll just be pit run, so we can compact that with the wheels going across, cars going by. Then we'll dig that out and do the blacktop when we have some other blacktop projects that make an entire dump truck load.
Yep. All right, thanks.
I've noticed in the past, if you hit CenturyLink, they never mark any of their stuff.
No.
Well,
They won't come
Yeah,
visit.
they really won't. They won't respond to if you have a call out.
And if you call them, they
For a
just
dig?
say stick the ends out of the ground and we'll come fix it.
We'll be back later.
Yeah.
So,
Well, if you do hit a line though, and the public ain't calling, it's a good sign.
Yeah.
Is that a big one?
The little one that we hit was small, but there's an orange one about that big right on top of the culvert line, the rest of it.
Orange and plastic. Yeah. That would probably be a cable visionary.
Visionary, maybe. Yeah.
don't get the yellow one.
Or the orange.
Or the gray. It's medium density.
Have fiber optic
Okay.
too.
Moving on, Drew, do you have anything for finance? Well, you do.
Yeah, I have a few things here. The quarterly update for the investment account. At the end of fiscal year 26 or June 30th, 2026, the total dollar amount in the investment account was $3,248,892, of which cash and equivalents were $152,000 of that basically, and then the actual investments were $3,097,000. As you can see by kind of that first, I guess it'd be the second page, everything is as our investment policy requires. U.S. Treasuries are $2,318,376, which is 71% of our investments, and then other government agencies are $778,921. Our maturity, so yield to maturity dates are within the investment policy as well. And then on the 6th page, you can kind of see our value and how much it's gone up since we started it in 2022. Obviously, the net returns for this year are a little behind the last few years, but it's still positive, which is a good thing, and has been generating pretty good investment returns for us. So other than that, I would just field any questions if anyone has any about that report that was in the claims packet.
Any questions for Drew?
What?
Sorry, I was just going to ask anybody questions.
I did have a few other comments here. Let me find my notes real fast. Website. So our website, we do plan to go live tomorrow with the new one. That new website is Hardin, Montana, all spelled out, .gov. So we will be changing city employees, not council, but city employees will be changing our emails as well. So our emails, if you see it come from us, should be coming from like city finance at hardinmontana.gov instead of hardinmt.com going forward after tomorrow when we get everything rolled over. We'll also be sending notes and things to vendors, creditors, things like that, so they know how to get a hold of us moving forward. But I think it's going to forward from our old emails to the new ones for an amount of time until we get it fully switched over and everyone used to the new emails. Lodge Grass project is expected to be finalized on Wednesday of next week, the 29th. They're kind of going through their last checklist items now. One thing they will have to wait to do is grass seeding, hydro seeding down there. The engineers think it's too far into the summer to do that, so they're going to wait until the fall or next spring to do that. But everything else should be completed by next Wednesday. As part of that project, the engineers and I reached out to Rural Development, who's also paying for part of their project, or a significant part of it, because the ARPA money that we sponsored for Lodge Grass had to be spent by the end of June, so nothing after June 30th can be spent on that. My wages and time spent on that going forward from July 1st on will be paid by Rural Development. We just have to invoice them, and they will pay the city for my time spent on that grant. So we're not losing that money, basically helping them to sponsor that grant still, which was nice of them to do. And then the last thing I wanted to go over was just an update to the water rates and what we had talked about a month and a half ago. So a month and a half ago, I proposed kind of changing the structure of how rates are charged once certain meter sizes go over a certain gallon amount. After looking at the American Water and Wastewater Association's recommendation for like the multiplier based off of the base fee or the base meter size and your base fee, I think that's actually a better way to move forward with the increases, which we can have a committee meeting before our next meeting too, which I was going to ask if we could do. But their proposed increases are, so for example, if your base meter size is a 3/4 inch, then a 1 inch meter multiplier for the base fee would be 1.67. So for example, with our 50-cent increase that we had talked about to the base fee for the 3/4 inch meter, that 1.67 multiplier would come out to $37.58 for the 1-inch line, and that would be the base fee. And then the 1.5-inch line, instead of the $22.50, would go by a multiplier of 3.33. So in that example, it would be $74.93 as the base fee, and then it kind of goes up from there. I didn't kind of give an analysis or anything for this yet, but I can bring that to a committee meeting at our next council meeting. I just kind of wanted to go over this with that base fee going up by this multiplier. We're more likely to get that increase in revenue that we need to continue providing water services to the community. With chemicals going up, wages, everything basically going up that we've talked about during the budget meetings. I think this would be a more efficient way of doing that. And then we could discuss maybe anything from 3,000 gallons to 50,000 gallons being a universal rate. So like leave it at the 2.75 maybe. And then anything from 50,000 to 100,000 is $3 or $3.25. And then anything over 100,000 maybe goes up to $3.50 or $4 per 1,000 gallons. That way the folks that are using more volume of gallons in a month are still getting that higher charge, but they're also paying a higher base fee based off of their impact directly on the system. And it's not kind of based off of a volume, it's based off of just how big of a meter size they have. So I can do that analysis and bring it to a committee meeting, Steve, if you'd like to have one at our next council meeting.
Angela, you want to add that to
the agenda?
What time do you guys like to do it? 5:30 or 6?
Well,
Yeah, that might take a little longer. So, 5:30 would work. That'd give us an hour to scream
Well,
over it.
I had a landfill one sliding in there too.
Oh,
Mine won't
God.
take long enough.
All right,
I speak faster.
Let's do it. We'll follow in behind the
Yeah.
landfill.
Yeah.
We'll try to keep it
Mine won't take long.
within your timeline.
Maybe
There
5.
will be 2 public hearings that day too, one for street maintenance assessments and one for the budget amendments as well.
Oh, geez. You wanna push that back?
Well, the water rates, we kind of want to get moving forward, so I don't know if we want to do that, but
We need to push one of them back.
We could just talk faster. We'll be all right.
All right. You think we can do it? What do you think, Mr. Mayor? You think we can cram that many into one night?
I think it'll run into 6:30 is what I think, if we're doing all 3 of those.
Probably run into 7.
We can just talk fast.
So we need the water meeting.
Streets,
Streets and landfill.
Yeah, unless we had the streets and landfill a separate night.
But we could, the landfill landfill can wait. I just
Streets
say
can
mine won't
wait.
take long.
Mm-hmm.
Short narrative.
Well, what if we just did the streets and what do water and
Yeah. like,
water and
Landfill
landfill?
can wait. I'm looking at 5, 10 years, 100 years.
What if we did landfill at 5:30 and water at 5:45?
No, you can bump landfill out.
Okay.
Completely, yeah. We'll just have it another night. That's fine.
So this next,
The street shouldn't take as long, should it, Drew?
no, but the water rates might.
That's
Mhm.
what I'm thinking.
5:30 for water, then maybe next council meeting.
Yeah.
Shouldn't take an hour though for them too, would it?
No, but there's also a budget amendment, so there's 2
Oh, yeah,
public
yeah.
hearings, one for street maintenance and one for budget amendment.
Okay, gotcha.
So we have to deal with those.
Yeah. If we need to call a separate one, we can. Okay.
Make it happen, Captain.
Was that all you had, Drew?
Yeah. that was
Okay,
it.
thanks. Police interim chief Needens.
I don't have anything tonight.
Okay.
Good.
Is there, I guess the mayor or you, is there any update on the chief with here?
What's that?
Moving forward with the new chief, is there any update?
Yeah, it's looking like he's getting through the psych eval. Should be wrapped up, and we're just waiting on the background.
You
So,
know,
and that was
psych class.
not supposed to take too much longer.
Gotcha.
So we're pretty close.
You have a target date?
Well, it'd be, like I said, with the background, I'm not sure, but it should be September 1st or earlier. We're thinking maybe sometime in August.
It just depends on the psych valve.
The background now,
Yeah,
Psyche
is it?
Val, I think is wrapped up completely. I haven't read through it, so.
Good. Usually that takes forever for them doctors to get through that shit.
Hey, don't talk bad about those doctors.
Okay, legal, Jordan.
So as far as the Bighorn Hospital settlement, we're kind of on pause. I got one last email from the attorney representing the hospital. They had been sending us invoices for additional inmates being checked out. I don't know if they've been sending any more lately in the past week.
Yes.
Got some from last week. I didn't got any this week though.
There should have been some in your mailbox, I think, earlier this week or late last week.
Okay, I'll have to double check.
Since you've contacted them, they've still been sending us invoices.
Okay. He told me they were going to stop sending them, but apparently that hasn't happened yet. So left hand and right hand don't know what's going on. They still want to continue to talk and try to figure this out, sort it out, settle it. So not all is lost there. But he's on vacation until August, so we'll have to pick it up in August. So that's all I've got right now.
Okay, thanks, Jordan. And economic development for next week, Tina?
I have nothing this evening.
Okay. All right. Let's move into resolutions and ordinances. So resolution number 2443, authorizing the submission of Montana Department of Commerce Coal Board application in support of the purchase of sewer inspection camera. That's a mouthful.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay. Been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 2443, the Coal Board grant to seek an inspection camera for the sewer. Any further discussion on that?
That camera can be used for storm drains too, correct?
Right.
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe so.
Need storm drains, culverts, whatever we need it for.
Okay. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries on that. Public comment. We have 3 minutes for public comment. And I understand we do have some public comment for sure
Yes.
tonight. Come on up.
Good evening. My name is Tana Moorhead. I have with me Cashandra Jones. We're both with the Small Business Administration Office of Disaster Recovery. We're here in Montana to offer services for the disaster that took place in December 18th, I think 17th, I'm sorry, to the 19th last year. Crow Tribe was declared as a primary county. Bighorn, Carbon, and Yellowstone are declared as contiguous counties. So with you all being within the Bighorn County, we're here to serve. We have other field ops present over at the Recovery Assistance Center there on the reservation. We're sharing information. If I may share this with you all, these packets, and you can just take one and pass it around. I'm one short.
Thank you.
What you'll see in that packet is on the first page there is a fact sheet. It is the mint green colored sheet that gives details of our economic injury and disaster loan. This particular loan is available for businesses, nonprofit organizations, including churches, faith-based organizations that may have encountered economic loss during the severe storm. This gives all the details front and back. We also have on the second page there, it shows where an applicant could potentially apply for the disaster loan. And then lastly, on that last page is something very, very important that I'd like to share with you all, and it is our resource partners. That consists of our Small Business Development Center, SCORE, which is an organization, the Veterans Business Operation Outreach Center, and then also the Women's Business Center. These are resources that are available across the U.S. actually, so each state has a designated resource partner, a part of SBA, the Small Business Administration. And so we'd like to leave that information with you all so that your businesses within the community can access the information and access business counseling for free, technical assistance for free, any training, sometimes they are a nominal cost, but it is available, and so that's to help the community. And if you have any questions, you have our business cards there before you attached, and you can reach out to myself or Cash. Thank you so much for allowing us to comment.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Is your office at Dunmore? Is that where that's at?
No.
Oh, that's not FEMA. Is that FEMA? That's there?
FEMA
Okay.
is in the
So it's not the
center.
same one.
Yes, it is the same. We're sharing centers, so FEMA's
Oh.
present,
Okay.
and then our team is there as well.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Okay, any other public comment? All right, seeing none, we'll move into announcements. Employee anniversaries, Nathan McConnell, 3 years. Michael Braille, what's that?
3 years.
Yep, 4 years for Michael. Kim Schock, 1 year. Gina Toyne, 2 years. And alley cleanup, we're gonna have that here on Monday, the 27th. Says to have items out by 8 a.m. for that. We'll have a public hearing for budget amendments for fiscal year 25-26 right here, August 4th at 6:10 p.m. Then public hearing for street maintenance district and levies and assessments for fiscal year 25-26 here on Tuesday the 4th at 6:20. City of Hardin job openings. Still technically have the police chief position open, police officer, and then school resource officer, which actually was just pulled today. There was some other communication on that. Maintenance worker 1 and animal control code enforcement. And we will have a closed session starting here at the end of the meeting for just pending litigation update.
Make a motion to adjourn the current council meeting.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. Any further discussion? Okay, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, 7:19. We're
Have a
adjourned.
good night.